Welcome back to another episode of Game Decon. Today I'm continuing my coverage of Little Hope from the Dark Pictures anthology as created by Supermassive Games and Bandai Namco Entertainment. If you're new to Game Decon, my channel explores and analyzes the narratives and characters of video games. I'll have the link to my first video analyzing Little Hope in the description below. There will be spoilers for Little Hope ahead. We return to the fogs of Little Hope. We'll come to see it's a minute after midnight on May 28th.
Little girl, she sounded so strange. I could barely understand her.
She sure sounded like she wasn't from anywhere around here.
I'm tempted to say she sounded more like she was from another time than another place.
You're right.
Angela discovers a postcard of a worn skull. The card itself is sitting on an oil drum beside a wooden building. I do appreciate the camera angles sometimes in this game. Gives the notion that the characters are being watched by unseen forces, which we know that they are already to an extent.
Might get a better view from up there.
On a park bench beside a crumpled can, Angela finds a magazine with a section titled Ghost Towns of the Northeast. The article speaks about Little Hope specifically, explaining that the town was abandoned after its one factory shut down due to changes in economics and cheap imports. The factory closure led to jobs drying up, which in turn led to an exodus from the town, leaving it forlorn. The article goes on to say the forests draw in extreme sports enthusiasts, which we already know to be the case with our extreme automotive tag and late-night cross-country jogger. The text also mentions a cavern called Hobbs Deep, which does not appear in this game, and I'm unsure if the cavern is even in or near Little Hope, let alone if it exists at all. This magazine entry confirms that Little Hope has been a literal ghost town for some time, and nature has reclaimed the town to an extent. I admit I am not an expert in the runnings and goings-on of ghost towns. While we have seen there isn't running electricity in the town so far, there are plenty of street lights in the darkness, and I have no idea if this detail is problematic or not. I'm going to shrug, say maybe the county or state is willing to pay for these street lights to still be on, and move along with my life. At the bottom of the second page, there's a recommended viewing titled Architects of, and what I suppose to say, Murder. Given that there are watch times, I assume Architects of Murder to be something to watch. I can confirm this with the text, which states in this week's episode, Kate Wilder rips the mask off the Zodiac Killer, but will her hard-hitting investigative style unearth any new facts about the notorious killer, worth watching for the stunning views of San Francisco taken from the Golden Gate Bridge. A couple of things. One, it's fine that this blurb about Kate Wilder is here, though it is a shameless Easter egg referencing the fourth game of the anthology. Second, I doubt Kate will unearth any new facts about the Zodiac Killer, mainly because the story she does later on Herman Mudgett was absolute drivel. Third, if an investigative show is worth more for its stunning views of San Francisco than its reporting, then you know the veracity of the information is probably bullshit. And fourth, the only reason I'm spending any time on this tiny element of the game is because of my loathing for the devil in me. Moving along.
How are you coping?
I don't know. What do you think happened to us back there?
I have absolutely no explanation for it. Makes zero sense to me.
What is out there?
We will find a way out of here. We have to.
I hope you're right. Appreciate you checking in with me.
I do get the sense that Angela is a bit motherly in this scene, but also may be a bit more receptive to the idea that strange occurrences are happening in Little Hope. The creature crawling from the pond, obscured by the darkness of the night, acts to heighten the tension. Unseen and terrifying forces are stalking our protagonists from the shadows. Further down the road, the group stumbles upon a flyer pinned to a wooden street light. It reads, Little Hope Historical Society presents The Witch of Edmonton, a play by William Rowley, Thomas Dekker, and John Ford, performed in historical dress at the Little Hope Middle School, Saturday, 17th of April, 7 o'clock p.m. While we might assume that the year might be the 1970s or 1980s, I can't confirm that, but it's an educated guess. This flyer also shows that the community of Little Hope was very much aware of the town's history and explored it in the modern setting through literary and performative means. The artwork on the flyer suggests The Witch of Edmonton was a play about the witch trials, whether in Little Hope or elsewhere.
Could this have something to do with what we saw?
I guess it could, but it didn't feel like that.
I don't know which is worse. Ghostly apparitions or a town full of historical weirdos.
There's something up ahead! Which way?
Can we move it?
Amen to that.
Look at that!
Hey, wait! Stop!
I'm just gonna say it. This is exactly what goes down in horror movies.
What the hell do we do now?
I'll deal with this. Stay right here.
Hold up, I'll come with you.
Hey! You two!
This is not good. Hey! Anyone there? Hello? Anyone? Get off me!
John!
What is it you want from me?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
These are most troubling times.
Wait, don't go!
Stay away!
What the hell are you? What do you want? Look. It's impossible.
A black tongue full of riddles. I will not succumb to a witch's spell. Please, Lord, I beg you. Rid me of these apparitions.
Who are you? This can't be happening.
Fix your gaze elsewhere. You are no husband of mine.
Let's get into town. It's not so far now, and it's our best shot at getting help.
You guys okay?
I am very far from okay. I am terrified and confused. I just saw my own double in the fog.
What happened in there?
This woman came out of nowhere in the fog, dressed like an extra from Salem. She was garbling something in an accent I didn't recognize, and most disturbing of all, she was the spitting image of me.
How is that even possible?
You're blowing this out of proportion, Angela.
I am all done here.
Seems the fog won't let us go anywhere except into the center of
The
town.
fog decides where we can and can't go? Fuck that.
I'm trying another way.
Don't you kids watch horror movies? You never ever split up.
Those movies are dumb. And I'm going this way without you.
Maybe splitting up isn't such a good idea, Taylor.
No way am I going down there.
I'm with John.
I'm with Andrew. The town isn't so far. We all go in together.
Flat out, Granny, no one asked you.
Okay, time out. Can we all just take a breath? Think about what our next move is?
We can check out more options if we split up. I'll go with Taylor. It's not safe for you to be hanging around here on your own.
2 teams are more likely to find a way out, which is what we all want, right?
I guess you're right. If the fog lets you through and you find help, send them into town to find us. Got a feeling we'll find help faster than the others.
As long as somebody does, that's all that matters.
As the conversation ends and the group splits, we see it is 12:16 a.m. on May 28th, which means 15 minutes have elapsed. With the time I have taken to explore Little Hope and the walk along the road, I can say this passage of time is relatively on point, so I won't criticize it for being a few minutes off. Now, a couple of things about this past scene. I don't mind characters occasionally nudging the fourth wall now and again, but to do it twice in the same scene is a bit overkill. I also feel characters' references to horror story tropes while in a horror story is a horror story trope. That's not confusing at all. Basically, what I'm saying is that it's a bit cliche for characters to talk about horror stories while literally being in a horror story. I'm not saying people are disallowed from making comparisons from fiction to the real world. It's something people do all the time, and in this case perhaps to make some levity of the situation. The sequence with the little girl is so much like a horror movie that the protagonist saying, "It's like we're in a horror movie," adds nothing. We can clearly see the characters are frightened and unsettled by the experience, and the joking nature of these lines do nothing to assuage the characters' tension and fears. I think they are throwaway lines meant for the audience rather than having any narrative or character-driven motivation behind them. Now, what reason do the characters have to be afraid of the little girl? We know Angela and Andrew do since they saw the little girl transform into Mary, who pulled them back through time, injuring Andrew. The two then relayed this experience to John, Taylor, and Daniel, so all 5 protagonists should be aware a little girl has been pulling some strange shenanigans. You know, besides causing bus crashes and singing nursery rhymes in the dead of night along a lonely, foggy road. The protagonist's trepidation about the little girl is justified enough. Speaking of the fog, we see it take on a new element. The fog can separate the protagonists. While we already know the fog prevents characters from leaving certain areas, forcing them to backtrack, the fog now has an almost malicious and coherent intent. I would almost classify it as a minor character at this point, since it appears of its own volition to separate characters and obscure the path ahead or between each other. The fog is no longer just a force of nature or a railroading narrative device. It actively participates in the narrative and between characters, forcing them to act on its will. One could easily argue that the fog is just more railroading, an effect caused by the writers in order for certain interactions or scenes to take place. That's not inaccurate. That is certainly happening, but it's not to say that it isn't a creative and intense method of railroading character actions. I might critique it more if the characters already didn't have their own motivations in the narrative. We know all 5 want out of Little Hope and have their own ideas about how to accomplish their goal. Instead of saying the fog is railroading characters, I like to think of it more like a maze. Yes, there are different paths to reach the end of the story, but there is considerable difficulty in finding the path forward. And in this case, the maze is also alive and actively tries to prevent characters from reaching the goal, yet interestingly does not allow them to backtrack either. It allows those within its confines to progress, but only at the pace the maze sets and at its whims. The sequence involving John and Angela following the little girl as the lights of the covered bridge flicker on and off was fine, and I enjoyed the fake out of what the horror actually was. You thought the little girl was the one to keep an eye on? Think again. The reason I don't consider the ghostly screaming figures to be jump scares, or at least to be tolerable ones, is because they consistently lead to the protagonist being dragged into the past. It's a form of transition between scenes, and I appreciate that the method is always the same. The spirits of the long dead appear to take those who live in the present back to relive the darkness from long ago. While I don't have a problem with the dialogue between John, Angela, and Amy, I do think Amy's hood is silly and is meant to obscure her face for a spooky surprise rather than have any practicality. Once the protagonists reunite and the fog passes, Taylor states that she wants to go her own way. While she is aware the fog disallows them from proceeding wherever they wish, I think her intent is more so born from her headstrong trait rather than forgetting a key factor in the setting. I do think the character's dialogue and actions are fine. Taylor expectedly rebukes John's authority and rebels against the situation in general, and Daniel is happy to follow along after her. Andrew tries to be the unifying force again, but Taylor's stubbornness wins over and he settles for accompanying John further into town. I was a bit surprised Angela even had the option of joining Taylor, considering the two have friction between them, but we also know Angela may be skeptical of John, and considering the next scene, she may have every right to be.
Hold up. You hear that?
Thanks.
Are we okay here?
We're good. That noise was just the old guy from the bar on his bike.
Stupid old drunk. Somewhere around here, there must be an easier way back up to the road. Let's move out.
You got an explanation for what we saw?
Nothing that makes sense. I do know there were witch trials in Little Hope around the same time as Salem.
What happened?
You can figure that out for yourself.
We find yet another poppet, this time along the side of a trail. Like the others, it is surrounded by animal skulls, is made of sticks, and is tied above a symbol on the ground. The symbol is made of a red substance, probably blood, and the poppet itself is smeared with blood. More on the poppets during the final verdict episode.
Are you okay?
Feels like Angela's constantly weighing me up and finding me lacking. I feel responsible for everyone here. You are all in my care. How would you handle all this in my position?
I guess I'd try to stay positive, do my best. That's all anyone could do.
Not sure my best is up to dealing with whatever is going on around us tonight. What we saw back there, you think that was really supernatural?
We really can't be sure what it is we've seen.
Makes sense to me. Just because I can't explain what we saw doesn't mean we have to reach the most extreme conclusion. That's kind of what happened in Little Hope during the witch trials. They made bad decisions based on very little hard evidence.
Sure. I get that.
Either way, our goal here is not proving or disproving the supernatural, ghosts, whatever else. It's getting the hell out of here.
I don't like the sound of that.
It's nothing to worry about.
Fuck.
Wait!
What is it? What's wrong?
We saw something moving in there.
What exactly are you up to?
I'm just taking a look here.
Isn't this breaking and entering?
I won't tell if you don't. Anyhow, there's no one here.
A couple of things. Despite being followed by some creature, it seems content with avoiding the trio for now. I also appreciated John and Andrew's chat. Despite John being a bit cowardly, he also seems able to reflect on his actions and realizes he may not be able to be the leader he feels he should be. This self-awareness shows that John is capable of evaluating his own flaws and is actively seeking help to better himself, which he does by confiding in Andrew. I also get the sense that while there are 5 protagonists, 4 of them seek out and check with Andrew on matters regarding him and themselves. While this concern may be in part due to his injuries from the crash, we find the characters also turning to Andrew for advice or to reflect. Andrew has acted as a force of unity in the group before, and the others return to him when the world around them and their own characters feel unstable. In the shack, Andrew discovers a book titled Modern Magic and Ritual by Ronald Nelson. The cover also has the initials TC written on it. The cover also displays 3 symbols. On the back, the summary reads, Modern Magic and Ritual is the definitive guide to the subject of magic for the new age, as opposed to magic for stage magicians. Written for practitioners to hone their knowledge and art, this book examines in detail all aspects of modern magic and offers readers a rich menu of rituals to practice. I do want to focus on the inner text of this book in the final verdict episode, but for now I'll settle with paraphrasing. Andrew settles on a couple of pages in a chapter titled New Age Curses. The text warns about the ethical implications of using curses and hexes, since casting a love spell may seem innocent enough, but the emotions and intent involved may warp the charm. The text displays a lock of hair and explains that such things can be used for different forms of magic. The next 2 pages talk about the sun and moon as important symbols. The sun represents death and rebirth as signified by its course across a year. The sun is anthropomorphized as male. The moon symbolizes a divine goddess relating a woman's menstrual cycles to the phases of the moon. A waxing moon signifies the maiden, a full moon a pregnant mother, and the new moon the crone. Together, the sun and moon form cosmic harmony, balancing the roles of male and female. They are lovers of a sort, and they symbolize love, passion, fertility, death, rebirth, and the afterlife. The book also explains how various practices such as Wiccan or Druidic honor or celebrate the sun and moon. Around the shack, we see plenty of discarded glass bottles. Underneath a broken floorboard, Andrew finds a loaded pistol in a box.
You all done with poking around?
Found this inside.
What the hell are you doing with a gun?
It was hidden under the floor.
You should have left it there. Guns are dangerous. We're already in enough trouble.
I guess you're right.
Give it to me.
Further down the trail, we see a figure carved into a tree that resembles a stick poppet.
There you are.
That was crazy back there.
Sorry I took off like that. I'm more twitchy than I thought. Thanks for coming after me. What the hell was that in there?
It was nothing. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. What am I? In 2nd grade?
He's right. Get over yourself and move on.
This place is our best shot. There must be a radio or a working phone inside. Maybe even our driver, too. Look around for something we can break the glass with.
On an oil drum outside the station, Andrew finds another postcard depicting a witch trial.
Give me that. I'll smash the window.
No problem. I can do this.
Okay. If you're sure.
Anyone can do this.
Not anyone.
Putting a rock through a window at 10 paces? Anyone can make the shot.
If you're feeling under pressure, let someone else do it.
I'm not feeling pressure.
Just saying.
Can you stop talking?
Will you just get on with it? The frame will have rotted away and the glass will fall out on its own before you two have finished.
Oh, strike! We'll make a ball player out of you yet.
Do you think a rookie could make a shot like that?
Looks safe enough. Piece of cake.
You're up next.
I guess enjoy cutting yourselves on the broken glass. Before we move on to the next scene, let's take a break to review some character traits. Okay, let's look at the characters from the modern day plot. John, he is frightened by the little girl. He protects Angela from Amy, physically stops Amy from leaving, keenly aware of the setting and plot, flees down the bridge, abandoning Andrew and Angela, feels Angela finds him lacking, feels responsible for everyone's safety, asks Andrew for advice. He's suspicious of supernatural occurrences. He flees from the shack and is cowardly. Angela suspects Mary is from another time, not another place. Concerned about Andrew, connects apparitions to time of witch trials, frightened by the little girl, unsettled by her own doppelganger, worried about committing crimes, and dislikes guns and doesn't want Andrew to have one. The little girl likes to people watch from the woods, follows directions creepily, and expertly choreographs her stage movements with lighting. Talking about the bridge scene, of course. Andrew, frightened by the little girl, recommends the group not split up, helps Angela down the ditch, can't be confided in, and is okay with breaking laws. Daniel is frightened by the little girl and leaves the group with Taylor. Taylor, keenly aware of the setting and plot, just like John, frightened by the little girl, thinks horror movies are dumb, and she's right to an extent. Leaves the group with Daniel and appeals to John's logic to justify splitting up. Vince owns a very squeaky bike. And then the deer doesn't know how to use deer crossings. I believe the next one is this something wicked one. Yes. So Amy, we see her again. She can build a fire by herself. She wears impractical hoods. I'm going to go ahead and mark that with some yellow, I do believe. The only reason I am not putting it as red is because it doesn't actively harm her character by any means, but the fact that her hood is oversized and covers the vast majority of her face, it's just no. That's a detail that was used by the writers in order to obscure what Amy looks like, for the surprise reveal that, oh, she looks like Angela. That's whatever. That's the only reason that it's like that even though I don't really it's not really very effective. And it's just silly looking. It resembles Angela, believes the visitors are part of the witch's spell. She is Christian and states that John isn't her husband. We pick back up with Daniel and Taylor near Little Hope Middle School. It's 12:16 a.m., which tells me the events here are occurring at the same time John, Angela, and Andrew are walking across the covered bridge.
You believe that woman really looked like Angela?
I don't know what John saw, and I don't intend on sticking around to find out. What's that noise?
I'm sure it's nothing. No surprise that didn't sell. Who'd want land in this godforsaken town?
Wonder what closed the school down. Forget about that. Even if you make it over, there's no way I'm following.
I never did like school. Let's get out of here.
Looks like there's no way through. I might have made a bad call here.
Don't stress it. No one made us come this way. We'll find another way.
The location of this school is quite unbelievable to me. Yes, I understand much of Little Hope has been reclaimed by nature, but did everyone in the 70s just walk to the school? There don't appear to be any main roads leading to the school. And while exploring the school might have been a creepy experience, Daniel and Taylor decided not to enter it, which makes the entire presence of the building even more pointless.
What the hell?
Hey, you! Hold up!
Daniel finds a child's drawing of what appears to be a girl kneeling with a priest in prayer.
Over there!
Hey! Are you okay? Who are you? What are you doing here?
Something is real off about this whole thing. This the same little kid Angela and Andrew saw before?
I have no clue.
Whoa, you can't be doing that. Oh, what the hell is going on? Tell me that didn't just happen.
Quiet now. I will not be caught.
What are you talking about?
Get away, or he will find me.
Come on out, Mary. I know very well you're in there.
Please, no, let me go.
I will release you once I am sure you will not speak of our secret. Your childish games tire me. You will respect me, and you will say nothing.
No!
Let go of her right now!
What spell have you cast? I am frozen to my
I
marrow.
have done nothing. Amy is the caster of spells. She is the one in league with the devil. I saw her in the forest together with her familiars. I am innocent.
I will have the truth one way or another. You come with me, girl.
Thank you kindly.
Be silent, child.
Can someone tell me what just happened?
Those two kids have to be linked somehow. No way that's a coincidence.
I don't get it.
Let's not hang around here. It's time to go.
Right with you.
I want to point out that this game was willing to let us watch Megan burn to death in the house fire, but a priest hitting a little girl? That's too far. Daniel finds a postcard of a witch being drowned. Too bad she doesn't weigh the same as a duck. I'm not sure what is happening with the visuals, but I'll just explain that Taylor and Daniel come across a wall and climb over it and into the backyard of a store.
I don't think this takes us out of this shitty town. There's no road.
Must lead somewhere, though.
I'm not so sure. There's barely even a path.
Place must have been a grocery store or something.
That campaign didn't work out too well. Let's just find another way.
These flyers are titled Hope for Little Hope. Paraphrasing the text, the townsfolk blame the Carver family for wanting to close the factory and sell the land. The people believe these actions would end Little Hope, and a union is currently trying to persuade the Carver family to accept another offer, but needs signed petitions from townsfolk. Given the state of the town, I agree with Daniel's assessment that this effort was in vain. Not far away from the store, Daniel finds a shed where a candle-covered shrine sits. Stones with runes etched into them sit atop another rune painted on an altar. An amalgamation of sticks and maybe bones is hung from this shrine. Surprisingly, Daniel says nothing to Taylor about this discovery.
What are you doing?
Help me push this, will you?
Seriously?
There's no other way.
I've got no choice.
Let me see if I can get this open.
Seriously? You're going in there?
Let me go in, look around. If it's all clear, I'll come and open the door.
I don't like the idea of being out here on my own.
I'll be as fast as I can. If you see anything weird, just yell. I'll come running.
Okay. Will do.
I need your phone.
What for?
Flashlight. It's dark in there.
Please be quick.
I'm in.
Is it safe?
Think so.
Come on, will you?
Taylor, the door won't open.
Okay, I'll look for another way around.
This game forces players to replay some scenes to unlock all possible avenues, and for my first playthrough I decided to climb through the bottom story window. However, I also want to show what can be found upstairs in the store, since either location can be accessed in the theatrical cut. Also, I want to point out I just received an achievement for maximizing Taylor and Daniel's relationship. If choosing the obviously understanding and kind dialogue options as opposed to the snide and mean remarks is all it takes to max out the relationship status, then I will criticize this for a minute. We have a considerable amount of game to go through, and an achievement is already telling me that this is the full extent of Taylor and Daniel's relationship. Only a few scenes ago, Daniel was taking time to address his concerns about the relationship, and Taylor indicated that she wanted to be with someone dependable. We see that Daniel is making an effort to prove he's the right person for Taylor, but if all it takes is a few minutes of choosing obviously kind dialogue options, then Taylor didn't need much convincing, and the dialogue has nothing to do with Taylor's need to be with someone dependable. Weaving in love stories into the horror genre is nothing new. While some horror stories take the concept of love and focus on its less pleasant elements, there are others that show the lengths someone will go to in order to protect and care for those they love in a horror setting. An example that comes to mind is the movie A Quiet Place. It's fine that Daniel and Taylor have a romantic relationship in this story, and I was happy to praise the characters for making time to address the relationship concerns in the appropriate time and setting. However, much of what Daniel and Taylor have done is superficial. We do see Daniel supporting Taylor when she wants to leave the group, and we see Taylor express vulnerability by admitting mistakes to Daniel, something she has been more hesitant to do with the other characters. Here, we see Daniel willing to put himself in danger rather than Taylor risk herself, and he can be kind when she expresses fear about being left alone in the dark. These are all admittedly positive actions that would naturally strengthen a bond between two people. However, to be fully transparent, we have not even come close to the worst Little Hope has to offer in terms of challenges. While purely a game mechanic, I would move the achievement to be much later in the story after the two have had time to move through the town and survive the horrors which live there. We are only seeing their relationship in an honestly optimal setting. We have yet to see it truly tested by the town. I will point out that this is the second anthology game that has a romantic relationship subplot. If you watched my coverage on Man of Medan, you may recall that the relationship between Julia and Alex was quickly forgotten by the second act, and their bond barely registered in terms of narrative impact. From what I can remember of Little Hope, I don't think Daniel and Taylor's relationship is much improved, although I honestly enjoyed the third game's love triangle. Anyway, enough about fictitious romances. Rant over. Quick aside and survival note. If you're trying to hide from something, turn off your flashlight.
Hello? Who's there?
Hey! Can't get through. This window is all boarded up.
How'd you get here anyway?
Went around the side, through a fence.
So I climbed into this haunted house for nothing.
The gap in the fence wasn't so big. You would have got stuck. How is it in there?
I got company. Of the rodent variety.
Oh, gross.
Relax. They look well fed.
Head to the front. I'll meet you there.
Sure thing.
Daniel finds a very familiar keychain.
Angela? How the hell?
The back door is locked. What troubles you? Tell me, what is happening?
Soon they will come for me.
Calm yourself, wife. Who is coming for you?
They're talking about me. There are accusations.
Accusations of what sort?
There's talk that I'm in league with the devil, that I'm guilty of witchcraft.
There's no sense in that. Who would say such a thing?
I cannot rightly say.
Stay where you are.
Fine. Just tell me what's happening. How did I get here? And where the fuck is here?
Hold your tongue. You are privy to the rumors about my wife, Amy?
What? I don't know you. John?
Open the door, Joseph. This instant.
Something ails you. What? You seem changed, even your attire.
Joseph, this ends badly if you do not open up. You will be in contempt of our warrant.
What plan do we have?
I will resolve this. My word on it.
Do not admit them.
Reverend Carver. Marshal.
I have here a legally written warrant for the arrest of Amy.
My wife has done nothing wrong.
There is a witness to your wife speaking in tongues.
Who accuses my wife?
Mary.
The word of a child condemns my wife.
You will deliver yourself into the Marshal's hands for your own good.
Then I must accompany her. She will not leave my sight.
Such action will not aid your wife's cause. Trust in justice.
Do not fear. I will find a way to resolve this.
Where the hell have you been? You look freaked. What's up? You saw something else, right?
This was different. I think they could see and hear me. It was hard to tell exactly. They seemed really spooked.
You see anything else?
I saw this woman being taken away. Arrested. She was being accused of witchcraft.
The spooky little girl. She gave the name Amy to the priest. That's what got the woman arrested. The woman, Amy. I guess she's in deep shit then. We've really screwed up here. Instead of getting out of this awful place, we're right back in the middle of town.
A new terror seems to be following Daniel and Taylor at a distance, and their attempt to find a way out of Little Hope has ended in failure. Before we move on, let's review this scene and character traits. There were some issues with locations, such as the unreasonably placed school that had no connecting roads we could see. Again, I recommend just removing the building entirely. It serves no function in the narrative. The scene in the playground was fine, and we get our main introduction to Reverend Carver, who is definitely not acting like an antagonist in any way. We see that Mary is afraid of the man, who is threatening her to keep a secret between them. When he accuses her of witchcraft, Mary shifts the blame from herself and onto Amy, who already suspects the girl of devilry. Mary's motivations for throwing Amy under the bus are clear to see, given her fear of Carver, although his motivations and secrets are unclear for now. Taylor and Daniel's dialogue is mostly believable, and we can see that Daniel is willing to put himself in harm's way for Taylor's sake. The easily missed shed holding the altar is interesting, and I'll be revisiting it later alongside all the other puppets and symbols. Finally, the scene of Amy's arrest shows that tensions are beginning to run high in yesteryear Little Hope. Once again, a little girl's actions are causing mayhem for the town, and Reverend Carver seems more than happy to further instigate the fear and paranoia while also acting under the veil of godly authority and wisdom. Reflecting on their spectral encounters, Taylor and Daniel have connected the dots to see that Mary's accusations have sparked cries of witchcraft in Little Hope, and the woman named Amy will likely face severe consequences. And whether they like it or not, our protagonists seem to be along for the ride. Before I move on to the character analyses, I want to pause a moment to talk about the upper floor of the general store. I played through the scene again and managed to find a previously undiscovered carving on a tree. When Daniel and Taylor reach the store, Daniel climbs up to the second floor via a broken outer staircase. The dialogue between him and Taylor is virtually unchanged. On the second floor, Daniel reads a notice of closure for Whitman Mart. The letter references the closure of the factory as a contributing factor, and it is signed by J. Schmidt and A. Lash, the general managers. Further down the hall in a supply room, Daniel can also find a newspaper discussing Reverend Leonard Carson was arrested due to claims of satanic worship, but some parishioners stated they did not believe the accusing child's claims. Finally, Daniel discovers a postcard depicting what is presumably a hooded witch holding a knife. Here are some character traits, some evaluations and thoughts about the characters from this past scene. The little girl enjoys playing in the park at night. I'm guessing that she made the drawing in the park. That's no way for me to verify that. That's just a guess. Daniel, willing to reach out to the little girl, can try to intervene between Mary and Carver, willing to put himself in danger for Taylor, and is visibly shaken by the spectral flashback. I did put two of these traits in yellow because they directly contradict one another. He is frightened by the little girl. We see that in a previous scene at the bridge. But then we also see that he is also willing to reach out to the little girl. I do think that he and Taylor find her to be creepy at the very least. Why he's willing to do so now and reach out to her is a little... It's like it forgot the last scene a little bit, and there should be a little bit more... I want to say trepidatious, but that's not even a word. But he should have trepidation regarding the little girl and what she is, and the fact that very strange things have happened around her already, and he knows that from other characters. Taylor, admits she may have erred in splitting up, connects the little girl to Mary, and is glad for Daniel's presence. I don't really have any issues with Taylor too much in this scene. The rat, it goes squeak. That's basically all it does. Reverend Leonard Carson, we learn his first name now, Leonard, which is a name. Um, he was arrested due to claims of satanic worship. We do know that. I don't know exactly when it happened, but or maybe it did say, and I just didn't pay attention. It doesn't necessarily matter. Um, I will say that we at least know that it happened after the house fire, most certainly, considering he was still performing the funeral service for the Clark family. So there's that. Um, Something wicked. Mary, she's hiding from the priest. She's afraid of Carver. She accuses Amy of being a witch, and she shows gratitude toward Daniel and Taylor. She says, "Thank you kindly," or whatever it is. Yeah. Amy, she's afraid of accusations against her. She's only now telling her husband about those accusations. She doesn't know who her accusers are, and she is arrested for witchcraft. I do not believe that this is the first time that she's telling her husband that she has had accusations. The only reason I'm not doing it in red is because while it's unbelievable, I have no idea when she has learned about these accusations. She could have just gotten home and is just now telling him about it. I don't know the process of events between Mary making the accusation of her being a witch and this moment. I don't know when Amy is informed of these accusations. And mainly, she doesn't know who it's from either. So there's a lot that she's in the dark about. And the only reason I'm not putting this like in a red color to say that's a character problem, that's a unreasonable thing for her to do, is because I don't know how much time has passed. And to me, that's not terribly unreasonable. Reverend Carver, he is forcing Mary to keep a secret. He is prideful. He's willing to hurt a child. He thinks Mary can cast spells. He has political and judicial power. He reveals Mary's part in the accusals, and he says trust in justice, to kind of appease Joseph about the whole situation with Amy. Yeah, I mean, Carver, I mean, I could say he's an antagonist. He definitely has a lot of those traits that are not particularly good. I mean, I feel like if you are slapping children, then you're probably not a great person. And probably are not a protagonist or the hero of the story. So, yeah. Um, Joseph, he resembles John. He seems to recognize Daniel. And it's like, why are you wearing these weird clothes? So he thinks of Daniel as maybe being from the same time period. I mean, he doesn't realize, like Amy, that he's just appeared out of nowhere, and thinks that this man is just visiting his house. Um, he's married to Amy. He isn't an idiot, regarding everything that's going on. He's like, why are you accusing my wife of witchcraft when the only person who says this is a girl? I mean, come on. So it is very silly. He's not an idiot. And he also is not willing to let his wife go and face her judgment alone, probably because he doesn't trust Carver or any of these problems, especially when they're taking the word of a child about these things. Not that what children say are absolute lies, but considering what this lie is in particular, yeah, at the time, historically, we could at least say that it's probably not out of reason because people did believe that in that sort of stuff back then. But the fact that it still is warranted as a problem, the entire thing's crazy. The entire Salem witch trials were crazy too. So, I mean, I'm not an expert in it. It's just, he is aware of the silliness of it at least. So it's not unheard of. And it's not unbelievable that he is willing to, support his wife and be there for her and not trust everybody else in the process, which we will come to see he has every right to be mistrustful. We pick back up with Andrew at the Little Hope police station. It's 12:26 a.m. on May 28th, meaning 10 minutes have passed since the group split up.
What do you think?
Let's take a look around. See what we can find.
There you go. We'll be on our way from Little Hope while the others are still MIA in the woods.
This place is a real dump even for this shithole town.
Something up?
Yeah, there's something kind of familiar about this place.
You got a big-time criminal past we don't know about? Serial jaywalker?
These small-town police stations all look the same. There's gotta be a phone in here someplace.
You're deluded if you think there's anything here. The place is dead, just like the rest of Little Hope.
I appreciate little details like this. Not everything discoverable needs a purpose. Andrew finds a round patch with the name Reynolds on the back. He then comes across a jail cell with the words, "I've lost everything," scratched into the wall. Near the entrance, Andrew discovers a plaque that reads, "Old Witch Jail, built 1685, demolished 1783. In 1692, during the Little Hope witch trials, many of the accused were imprisoned here." Yes, they used an old spelling of the word jail. Marvelous. I am a tad confused on the dates. If the witch trials didn't begin until 1692, but the jail was built several years prior, then why would the people have needed a witch jail if there weren't any witch trials happening? Or was it just a regular jail before being exclusively used for green-skinned, warded women from the West? No clue. Moving on. Andrew stumbles upon a box labeled hippie junk that contains many items, but most notably a crescent moon with the initials TC on the back.
We have a winner. Found a phone.
This could be our way out. Line's dead.
Shit! Whoa! Hey! Take it easy.
Can you stop reacting to every setback like a child? Look here. The cable is missing.
There's gotta be a cable here someplace.
Across the station, Andrew rubs the grime from a framed certificate. It reads, "Township of Little Hope, Certificate of Commendation, presented to Little Hope Police Department. On January 16th, 1972, officers George Reynolds and Ernie Hoffman responded to a call concerning a house fire. Arriving before the fire service, the officers, with no concern for their own safety, rushed into the house to attempt to rescue the family members trapped inside. Tragically, many lives were lost as they were beaten back by the flames. However, the mayor, chief of police, and a grateful public thanked the police department for their continued dedication to service. April 4th, 1972, Samuel A. Carver, Mayor." First off, whoever wrote this commendation needs to learn to use commas. Second, the writer also needs to learn to use unambiguous pronouns. Third, we now know for certain that the house fire seen at the beginning of the game occurred in 1972. This commendation was presented a few months later. Fourth, one of the responding officers is named George Reynolds, which relates to the emblem found in a locker just a moment ago. How convenient and coincidental. Fifth, the mayor's name is Samuel A. Carver. The last name should sound familiar since it has popped up a few times around Little Hope already, and we know the Carver family's actions mainly led to the town's misfortunes and desolation.
Fucking thing. Thought this was our way out. What is that?
What do you think? Answer it.
I can do this.
Be careful.
Don't stress it, Professor.
I should not be here this day. I stand here falsely accused.
What can you hear?
Woman. She sounds real upset.
If there
You have to calm whoever it is down. You'll get nothing if they're hysterical.
Not all here in Little Hope are willing for the truth to out.
Can you tell me what you're upset about?
As I walked, a man and a woman appeared at my front. I had not seen them approach. I reached out in fear. I did not know them. Their clothes and
Okay, it's all good. I'm gonna help you out here if I can, but I need to know your name.
I'm so falsely accused of
Get off of me!
Come here, girl. I would speak with you. You cannot talk of our secret. Eternal damnation awaits if you do. We have an understanding, do we not?
No evil word shall leave my lips.
Should you breathe a word, or the edge of a word about the other things, then I will come to you in the black of some terrible night, and bring a reckoning that will shudder you.
Now, Reverend, let us begin. Enough time has gone begging.
Go be with your kin. I beseech this court, and good Judge Wyman, do not be fooled by the protestations of the accused. The devil is the master of deceit. All his servants feign innocence. They can do little else.
I solemnly swear before God, I am innocent of all accusations against me.
Hush now, Amy.
What the hell should we do?
We need to stay quiet. We just let this play out. See what happens.
I mean no offence, Reverend Carver. I do not believe any of my neighbours. Those who know me best will speak out against me. They know who I am, that I side with the righteous.
I will not be caught in the web of your deception. The devil hides himself where he is least expected.
My wife is no devil's plaything, Reverend. I beg the court's forgiveness, but I stand by my statement. My wife Amy is innocent.
I respectfully ask this good court to pay no mind to the words of a man whose very home is foul with the stench of brimstone.
I feel a chill in my bones. What manner of evil is this?
The beast has his malevolent gaze upon us. His servant is among us.
What the? Stay out of this.
The supposed evidence against me is little more than spiteful imaginings.
If there be darkness here among us, I will shine.
No!
Mary?
Mary, my sister, what ails you?
What have you done to this child? You have bound an innocent girl into a pact with the devil himself. The poor creature seems possessed. No doubt you're doing.
It's not true, Reverend. Why have you taken against me so?
We will see the truth of it. Amy, lay your hands on Mary. Let us see what occurs. If I am correct, your touch will release her from this affliction.
What ails you?
It must be so, if you are the one who bewitched her.
They are here among us. They are here among us.
No!
What more proof is needed that the devil walks among us in Little Hope? Take heed and pray. The devil is here in this very room. Protect yourselves. Seek out the Lord.
What the hell was that shit? Was that for real? Didn't the witch trials happen centuries ago?
Most of them over 300 years ago.
Then how come we just saw one?
Like I say, I have no good explanation. That little girl who had some kind of seizure. What do you think was going on there?
I know that little girl. She's the one me and Angela saw back in the woods.
That woman, my double? What's she looking at if the trial goes against her?
The sentence for confirmed witches in Little Hope was always brutal. Violent death, drowning, hanging, burning.
And let's hope she is, or was, found innocent.
Accusations were often malicious, made by someone with a grudge. Or by meddling liars, like that little girl, who took perverse pleasure in poisoning their own communities.
Come on. She's just some little kid, who most likely doesn't get how big a deal the whole thing is.
She knows exactly how serious it is.
Either way, the woman on trial, Angela 2.0, she seemed like she saw us. And so did some of the others.
You're right about that. They definitely saw us.
A little kid just seeing us appear out of nowhere? Could easily believe that was witchcraft, especially back then.
Dream up all the excuses you want for that little kid. I don't trust her one little bit.
We can't explain how we happened to see each other. How do you expect some little girl from 300 years ago to wrap her head around it?
That woman, my double, was very distressed, almost traumatized.
Yeah. It was tough to watch, for sure.
I noticed something else weird. Her husband? He looked a lot like you, Professor.
The two people with that little brat looked just like Daniel and Taylor. What the hell does all this mean?
Who's that?
Hey, Professor! You in there?
Come on, let's go. Hey, Taylor! We're in here!
We can't open the damn doors!
We can't either! They must be locked. Let's all try to force the handle. In 3, 2, 1... Taylor.
Hey, Professor.
Find anything that could get us out of here?
Nothing that's gonna help us much. But I found this. It's kinda neat.
I don't believe it. I saw this exact keychain in my dream.
That's pretty weird.
It's more than weird. It's significant. I just don't know how.
Still think splitting up was a smart move?
I would say I'm now more open to exploring other options.
I'm glad you two are finding this funny. Personally, I think we're in deep shit here.
You know what happened to your double, right? She was accused of witchcraft.
Not just accused, tried, found guilty, and condemned.
We need to know what that woman is facing. What's gonna happen to her next?
I like the idea, but how would we even begin to find that out?
We've already been down those paths. Maybe the answer lies down the one path we haven't taken yet.
What the hell?
This is fucking crazy. We have no clue what we're getting ourselves into.
It's already been a hell of a night, but I'm sure we'll pull through.
The geeky exterior is all play. There's a warrior in there.
Before we continue on, I want to discuss a couple of aspects of this sequence. In terms of horror, the only creepy aspect of the police station was the phone ringing despite being unconnected. I felt the character's trepidation regarding answering the phone to be justifiable and believable. However, there are aspects of Amy's trial I take issue with. This marks the second time we've witnessed Reverend Carver threatening Mary and forcing her to keep a secret. Unfortunately, Carver does so in front of an entire courtroom and while speaking with a normal level of sound, meaning anyone should be able to hear him. Somehow, though, no one does. This detail is certainly contrived, and an easy fix would be for Carver to say nothing, except perhaps to quietly or silently give a look to Mary that shows his authority and her fear. Alternatively, have the two speak out of earshot of anyone else or in hushed voices. The rest of the trial I have very little issue with. Carver is clearly a member of authority in the community, and his word alone not only silences critics and deniers, but his manipulation of Mary into aiding his efforts of condemning Amy shows that he can expertly control the events of the trial and the community of Little Hope. The trial might as well have come from the pages of The Crucible. As a side note, the faceless townspeople are certainly creepy. I think they highlight the main characters involved in the story, but also symbolize the crowd mentality and lack of individual thought or presence that led to the horrors of the witch trials. When Angela, John, and Andrew reflect on the trial, we see some clear angles of thought. John blames Mary for her part in Amy's condemnation, but as Andrew, we have the choice of placing the blame on Mary or pointing out that she is only a child. Angela is more concerned with the fate of her doppelganger, and Andrew states that John looks like Amy's husband. John notes that the men and women with Mary resemble Daniel and Taylor. Despite being in plain view of Reverend Carver's threats to Mary, none of the three discuss his words even though they should be a crimson flag. After all, Carver is a grown man with enough authority to condemn people to death without a shred of evidence. What chance would Mary have at all of rebuking or defying him? It's unbelievable that none of our protagonists would have connected the dots. An easy fix would be for them to not have witnessed Carver and Mary's confrontation, or be far enough away so as to not hear them. Other than that issue, the dialogue is believable and well characterized. I like that Andrew can explain and empathize with those in the past who may be confused or frightened by their appearance. I'm not entirely sure how Daniel and Taylor found these three, but I'm not going to spend much time critiquing this detail. I do enjoy how the characters can pull their respective learned information together to form a coherent timeline of events, and no one has any knowledge that they shouldn't. Lastly, I appreciate that Taylor is willing to admit to John that she's willing to stick with the group again, since she came to that conclusion herself in the previous scene. Here are the characters from this particular scene. Let's start with John. We don't learn too much more about him. He just has anger issues and believes Mary is a threat. We kind of already saw the anger issues to an extent already, especially in how knee-jerk he is to certain things. And this is just another example of that, but more pronounced. Angela, she has dry wit when she says that Andrew has a criminal past, which isn't that far off. But Angela finds John's outburst childish. Andrew finds the jail familiar, is realistic about emotions of those in flashbacks. So I say he's empathetic. He can see what other people are feeling and find it understandable and reasonable. He recognizes the keychain from the dream. I really wish they did more with the keychain, because it was a small detail back in the 1970s plot. It shows up here again, and nothing really happens with it. I wish it did, but no. Anyways, moving on back to the 1970s, the Something Wicked plot. Yes. Let's start with Mary here. She pretends to be attacked by spirits and stops being attacked once Amy touches her. Amy, she claims that she's innocent. She thinks her neighbors will absolve her, but is instead condemned of witchcraft. Reverend Carver has no sense of subtlety. He gets away from threatening a child, stands in condemnation of Amy, claims Amy and Joseph's home smells of brimstone. He's a liar and claims Amy is attacking Mary with magic. We have two new characters to consider as well. People from the past that resemble some people from the future, as usual. Judge Wyman, he resembles the bystander in the 1970s. I don't know if you remember him from the house fire scene, but he was the one who showed up when Anthony was outside the house and the rest of his family was already dead and asked, "What have you done?" or something like that. Judge Wyman also feels a chill in the air at the trial. Marshall Isaac resembles Officer William Isaac. They really did not do much with their names as far as like changing them up. We will find, and I will talk about it later, in the final verdict, that most Actually, I think pretty much all the characters' names share the same starting letter, with their doppelgangers or counterparts, which is not a mistake by any means. Um, and they didn't really do so with him. They just kind of used William Isaac's last name and made this guy Marshall Isaac. I don't really know. I don't know what his last name is right now. He does Carver's bidding as well. We return to John along Little Hope's main road at 12:42 a.m. on May 28th. It's been 16 minutes since Andrew, Angela, and John entered the Little Hope police station. Again, I don't mind the passage of time. Maybe a tad off, but it's not unreasonable. John finds a postcard on a crate. The postcard shows the Little Hope Police Department logo.
Taylor, you need to see this.
You've got to be kidding me. What is that thing?
You ever have any family here?
In this shithole? No way. Why does that weird fucking thing look like me? I can't see for shit.
Jesus! Water looks black. I don't want to go anywhere near it.
I debated on whether or not I wanted to criticize Angela nearly falling through the hole in the bridge, despite the bright light overhead. However, looking at multiple shots, the hole is actually beyond the radius of the light and it's foggy, so I have no issues with this event.
Okay. Who's first up?
Professor, you keep telling us you're in charge, so...
Okay. Sure thing.
Is it safe to cross?
Don't stress. The professor and me will make sure you get across, no problem.
The professor and I, Andrew. If John's your English teacher, he needs to help you with your nominative subject usage.
Right, well, we'll get you over for sure.
My God! What do we do?
We can't stay here.
In this year of our Lord, 1692, we are here present to bear witness to a just execution.
No!
Amy is declared guilty of consorting with the devil, and is to be drowned as a witch and sorceress. Let us pray in silence for her soul.
I've done no wrong. I am no witch. I do not deserve death. I beg you.
I don't know how to help you. Tell me what I can do.
Please, sir. You must help me. You must.
The devil is in the wind, seeking to help his own. He would release her from the chains. Isaac, let us conclude our business here swiftly. The will of the court must be imposed before it's too late. The devil fortifies her. You must bind her tightly.
this!
Isaac,
I am innocent!
fulfill the will of the court.
Help me!
Send this witch back into the lap of her master, lest he come for us all.
Lil Hope is already lost, shrouded in evil. But not as you claim from witchcraft or outside demons. We are poisoned from within.
You will not save yourself with riddles.
There is no riddle. The devil takes many forms. You know that better than any. In Lil Hope, he has hid himself under a shroud of innocence, taken the form of a child, my accuser. While Mary still draws breath, Little Hope remains beyond salvation. There lies your evil reference in your very midst.
Isaac.
What did you see? Tell me.
I don't know how to tell you what I just saw.
Your double was pushed into the river in chains. She drowned. All right, I'll go first. Okay, you two, get on down here.
What the hell is that?
What is that thing?
Get away from it!
Run! Get the hell out of there!
Look out! Shit!
Don't leave me behind!
Hey! Give me a hand here! Hold on, hold on. I'm coming back for you, John. Hold on. Reach up and grab my hand. Jump up and grab onto me.
Okay, I trust you.
We learn from Reverend Carver the year the Little Hope witch trials are taking place, 1692. This is around the same time the Salem witch trials were occurring, which aligns with what John said earlier in the game. We can also make some obvious comparisons between characters now. In the 1970s plot, Anne Clark died by asphyxiation due to smoke inhalation. In 1692, Amy died by drowning. In both cases, the characters met their ends due to being unable to breathe. Likewise, the creature that crawled from the water under the bridge seems to be the drowned corpse of Amy. We can reasonably assume this notion to be true, considering we just witnessed Amy bound in chains, much like the seemingly undead corpse. In this scene, we once again see the fog moving to separate characters. Despite Taylor's intent to stay with the group, she and Daniel are once again forced from the others by the fog and collapsing bridge. I do want to talk more about the nature of the fog in a later video, but for now I do want to keep track of the times it acts for or against the character's interests. We gain some precious insights into the townsfolk of Little Hope in 1692. Despite the man ordering her execution, Amy seems to believe that Reverend Carver is as much a victim of Mary's supposed possession as everyone else is. As players, we should know otherwise, as every interaction with the Reverend has shown him to be a malicious, aggressive, and manipulative character. The protagonist should understand this information as well, but they have not had a chance to reflect on Amy's death. A certain waterlogged woman cuts that conversation short. The attack scene is well done, and while we don't currently understand the full extent of the creature's power and danger, it's safe to say no one would want to realistically stick around to see what an undead, drowned corpse would do. We see that Andrew, John, and Angela are somewhat physically capable in this scene, although to varying degrees. Andrew and John are able to climb up the riverbanks with few issues, though Andrew must assist Angela in climbing and escaping the pursuing creature. This scene also marks the first time any one of the stalking creatures have actively made their presence known to the protagonists. It's also noteworthy that this appearance happened only after the death of Amy. Once we witnessed her drowning, her undead corpse dragged itself from the water to attack the protagonists. Here is our character analysis of the last scene. John finds a bust that resembles Taylor. I don't think I really had anything else in my notes besides a crow that just says caw. The demons. We meet our first demon. Well, not really. I mean, we've seen the other ones too, but we actually have one be encountered for the first time. The drowned demon. It can create whirlpools, resembles a decayed corpse wrapped in chains, vomits black sludge, drags itself along with one arm. We can reasonably assume that it is Amy from the 1692 plot. I think that's the right year. But yes, we can reasonably assume that. And the Something Wicked one, the 1692 one, Amy reaches for help, claims Little Hope is lost to evil, believes the devil has possessed Mary, bound in chains, and she drowns.
Phew, that was really quite close for Angela. She was almost lost to a fate worse than death. Not that there's anything particularly wrong with death. Well done. Not a soul lost so far. Things could have been quite different. Andrew had a gun. How could you have let something so precious be lost like that? Given where it went and what came out of there, I suppose we can consider it lost forever. The boys have some interesting theories. Could they, as Andrew has suggested, be the reincarnated souls of their historical counterparts? Or maybe you're choosing to believe Daniel's theory, that they're already dead. My dream was lengthened after life. Oh, then began the tempest to my soul. I passed, methought, the melancholy flood with that sour ferryman, which poets write of, unto the kingdom of perpetual night. It's possible, I suppose. Maybe the bus driver can shed some light. This must be very confusing for you right now. Doppelgangers, witches, ghosts, death, and demons. What could possibly tie all of these souls together? I dare say we'll find out. I have been granted permission to give you a single hint. Tempted? Okay then. we will once again turn to the Bard for some cryptic inspiration. I met him once, you know?
I meet everybody once.
Act 5, Scene 1, where Cleomenes begs Leontes to forgive himself for causing the death of Hermione. Do as the heavens have done. Forget your evil. With them, forgive yourself. Go on then. As terrifying as it might be, you should get back to it.
I do have some thoughts about this intermission. The curator states that Andrew has suggested that they are all reincarnated souls of their historical counterparts. I have no idea when Andrew said this, and so far he hasn't, so either the curator is jumping the gun or misremembering information. Either way, while we as players have had numerous hints at the reincarnation theory, I don't recall any of the protagonists voicing it. It's also in this intermission that we gain our biggest glimpse into who the curator actually is. He states that he met the bard, Shakespeare, at one point, then further explains that he meets everyone once. For both of these statements to be true, the curator must have been alive throughout all of human history, if not beyond it. Therefore, a reasonable conclusion is that the curator is a human representation of death, or the Grim Reaper. As I recall, there are other hints at this notion in later games, which we'll get to in time. Here's going to be a relatively short character analysis of the curator. He says, not that there's anything particularly wrong with death. I think that's kind of an interesting quote. Praises character for, not the character, the player for saving lives. I don't know why I said that. Player. There we go. Seems frustrated Andrew didn't keep the gun. He misremembers critical information. He met Shakespeare. He meets everyone once. He's timeless, and he's pretty much death incarnate. I do find it interesting that he is praising the player for saving lives, mainly because he's supposed to be not interfering with anything. And specifically because he is death, of course, and doesn't think that there's anything wrong with death. So really how the characters in the story are or are not alive shouldn't really matter to him, considering what his role is and the fact that he really is death incarnate too. So that's interesting about him, I would think. And we'll add more to him as we see more curator intermissions, of course. And of course, this whole misremembering critical information, I think I am 99% certain that Andrew never talked about reincarnation at this point. I mean, I feel like I would have noted that because I did note that one of the characters, Daniel, did say maybe we're dead, and that's one of the theories too. So the fact that the curator is misremembering this or making this up, it's kind of problematic, and I don't feel like it's something his character would necessarily do. That about wraps up our time in Little Hope today. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. If you feel I missed something or would like to discuss a topic from the video, leave a comment. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.